On September 4th, in the year 476, the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustus, was overthrown by the barbarian Odoacer. This marked the end of the Western Roman Empire, which had stood for over 1,000 years since its founding. At its height, the empire covered a vast territory of 1.9 million square miles and possessed the largest professional army in the world. However, as the empire neared its end, it faced incessant attacks from barbarian groups, gradually eroding its borders. By the time of Romulus, little remained of the empire except for Italy itself. In contrast, the eastern half of the empire, known as the Byzantine Empire, continued to exist until 1453. The fall of the Western Roman Empire can be attributed to its inability to withstand the constant invasions and mass migrations of barbarian groups. One such group seeking refuge within the Roman Empire were the Goths, who arrived in 376. Unfortunately, the Romans treated these refugees poorly, offering them no assistance during times of famine. Desperate, some Goths were forced to sell their children for food and received little more than dog meat. The mistreatment of the Goths led to the outbreak of the Gothic War, a rebellion against the Romans. The Battle of Adrianople in 378 was a disastrous defeat for Rome, with 2/3 of the Roman army being killed and the Eastern Emperor Valens himself being slain. The Gothic War eventually came to an end under Emperor Theodosius I, who allowed the Goths to settle within the empire. Gothic soldiers were permitted to join the Roman army, and their people were allowed to stay together within Roman territory, a policy that had not been seen before. However, tensions between the Goths and Romans resurfaced when Alaric, the king of the Visigoths, decided to challenge Rome. Alaric, who had previously served in the Roman army under Theodosius, became disillusioned with the regime after Theodosius died and appointed his sons Honorius and Arcadius to rule each half of the empire. The Goths, living among the Romans, were known as the Visigoths, meaning Western Goths. Frustrated with mistreatment, the Visigoths elected Alaric as their king and marched against the empire. After some success attacking the Eastern Empire, Alaric turned his attention to the weaker Western Empire. In 401, Alaric first besieged Rome but was repelled by the legendary general Stilicho. However, Emperor Honorius, becoming increasingly detached from events, moved his capital to Ravenna in response to Alaric's invasion. In 408, Honorius executed Stilicho, leaving Rome vulnerable to attack. Alaric returned later that year, and Rome was sacked for 3 days in 410. The sack of Rome was a significant moment in the decline of the Western Roman Empire, and it marked the beginning of relentless assaults by various barbarian groups. The empire fell to these assaults, allowing the barbarians to take over Roman territories and establish several successor kingdoms. A competing emperor named Constantine III rose against Honorius and managed to capture Britannia and Gaul. The Romans in Britannia revolted against Constantine but were denied assistance from Honorius. Nevertheless, they successfully drove out Constantine's forces, resulting in the permanent loss of Britannia from the Roman Empire. Constantine was eventually defeated and executed in 411. The Western Empire faced further challenges as Germanic tribes pillaged their way across Gaul and settled in Hispania. Two of these tribes, the Vandals and the Alans, led by King Genseric, moved south through the Strait of Gibraltar and seized North Africa, including the renowned city of Carthage. They also took control of Sicily and several Mediterranean islands, establishing the Vandal kingdom. The Visigoths, taking advantage of the situation, captured parts of southern Gaul. Emperor Honorius, seeking their assistance in driving out other barbarians from Hispania, granted the Visigoths control over western Gaul. However, the Visigoths eventually turned on their Roman allies, conquering the last remaining part of Hispania under Roman control and creating the Visigothic kingdom. At this point, the Western Roman Empire had little left. The senior military commander, Orestes, deposed Emperor Julius Nepos in 475 and placed his son Romulus on the throne. Simultaneously, the Foederati, who were barbarian soldiers in the Roman army, demanded land within Italy for their service. When Orestes refused, they turned to Odoacer, an army official. Odoacer led the group against Orestes, successfully killing him before marching against Romulus. However, Odoacer spared Romulus' life as the emperor was only 16 years old. Instead, Odoacer became the king of Italy, sending the imperial insignia to the Eastern emperor, symbolizing the end of Rome's imperial power in the West. While the fall of the Western Roman Empire was primarily caused by barbarian invasions, there were several underlying factors. The vast size of the empire posed challenges in terms of communication and administration. The division of the empire into Western and Eastern halves, while initially effective, ultimately contributed to the downfall of the Western Empire. The Western Empire struggled with financial troubles due to the Eastern Empire's wealthier provinces, constant warfare, and a lack of expansion. The reliance on slave labor, relaxation of recruitment criteria, ineffective leadership, and the clash between Christianity and Roman methods of control also played a role. Although the Western Roman Empire fell in 476, its legacy endured. The Byzantine Empire kept the Roman East alive until its fall in 1453 to the Ottomans. In the West, there was a revival with Charlemagne, king of the Franks, being crowned the Holy Roman Emperor in 800 AD. Roman culture, language, religion, and infrastructure had a significant impact on the Western world. European languages such as French, Spanish, and Italian have their roots in Latin. Roman religion, Latin Christianity, held dominance in medieval Europe, with the Pope serving as a figurehead from Rome. Roman technology and infrastructure contributed to the development of Europe in the Middle Ages, and many Roman towns, like Londinium, continue to be important today. The influence of Rome persists throughout history, making it one of the most impactful empires to have ever existed.